Hi, in this video we will learn about the SendMail object in Astera Centerprise. A SendMail object can be used in a workflow to send email notifications as part of an orchestration pipeline. Let's see how we can configure and use the SendMail object in a workflow. First, drag the SendMail object from the workflow tasks section of the toolbox and drop it onto the designer. Right-click the object header and select Properties from the menu to open the configuration window. Alternatively, you can just double-click the SendMail object header. To send an email, the first step is to configure a connection for the email server provider. To do that, click on the ellipses button next to the server text box. This opens an email connection window where we can configure our server connection. If you have already configured an email connection and you want to reuse that connection, you can select it from the drop-down menu for recently used connections. You can also configure a new connection by providing the required information under the Connection Info section. Let us now configure a new connection. In the URL field, provide the address of the mail server on which you want to configure the connection. Provide your host name in the login name field and your password in the password field. In the server field, specify the port of the mail server on which you want to configure the connection. In our case, we want to establish a connection at port 587, so we will specify that here. Now, specify the timeout period and the number of retries you want to make in case the connection fails. Let's provide a timeout period of 60 seconds and 4 retries. The Require SSL option is used to establish a secure connection to the server. Let's check this box to establish a secure server connection. You can test your connection by clicking on the Test Connection button, which will automatically send a test email. For diagnostic purposes, you can choose the log level from the drop-down menu under the Connection Logging section. You can leave it off if you do not intend to log anything. If you do want to log diagnostic data, you can choose one of the 4 logging options provided by Centerprise. The Verbose option captures everything. The Debug option only captures that content which can be used in debugging. The Info option captures general messages and information, and the Error option only captures the errors. Let's leave it off in our case and click OK. Our connection has been configured, and now we can specify the details for our email. In the From field, provide the sender's email address. It must be the same email address that we provided in the connection configuration. Provide the recipient's email address in the To field. Now, write the subject of the email in the Subject field. If you want to send a copy of the email to any recipients, provide the email address of the recipients in the CC or BCC field. Let's leave those blank in our case. If you want to add an attachment to your email, click this file icon next to the attachment text box. Choose a file you want to attach and select Open. Notice the file has been attached and the file path is populated in the attachment text box. Write the body of your email under the message text box. If your email message is to be defined in HTML format, you can check this box next to HTML content. In our case, our email body does not have to be defined in HTML format, so we will leave it unchecked. Now that we have configured our email message, let's click Next to navigate to the Config Parameters window. Here, you can specify any variables to provide a dynamic way of changing configurations. Let's leave these blank here so that the parameters use the default values assigned in the properties. Next is the General Options screen, where you can add any comments if need be. Let's leave this as is and click OK to close the window. We have successfully configured the SendMail workflow task object. You can start the workflow as is to send an email right away, or you can link the SendMail object to other objects based on the logic of your workflow. Let's look at a sample workflow that includes the SendMail object. In this workflow, a data flow is executed using the runDataFlow object. After the data flow execution is completed, a decision object resolves the specified expression and returns either yes or no. Here, we have linked the result of the decision object to the SendMail object. If the decision returns yes, the SendMail object sends an email to the specified recipients. So, this is how you can send an email using a SendMail object in a workflow. For more information, please visit our documentation site. Thank you for watching this video.